Hello and welcome to One-on-One Sports. I'm Ellie Whittington.
And I'm Thomas Hale. It's good to be back, but before we get to the show, Ellie and I are going to come at you with the quick hitters. After the United States' shocking loss to Trinidad, which eliminated the U.S. from qualifying for next year's FIFA World Cup, attention is shifted to who will lead the American Federation into the future. With current President Sunil Gulati unlikely to remain past his current term, the candidates are continuing to grow in number. So, Ellie, who do you think is going to take over as the president of U.S. Soccer?
What a big question going on right now in U.S. Soccer.
Big deal.
I'm going with Carlos Cordero. He is currently in a position just kind of to slide into this position.
Yeah.
He's been heavily involved in the business aspect. He's been treasurer, since 2008. And I don't care what you think about sports, but it's a business. And someone that knows how to run the money, run the team, run the system, that is who is set to do it.
The issue I have with your choice there is that Cordero was the VP president right there, and so he's part of the problem with U.S. Soccer.
Oh,
that's the whole reason why these guys are totally bad. So I think we need to change it up right now. Let's bring in Landon Donovan, a U.S. national hero. He is the MLS all-time top scorer and assist leader. He's also the U.S. men's national team all-time top scorer and assist leader.
I believe that just because you're a good player does not mean that you're a good
This man has been ingrained in the MLS for so long, ever since it became a thing, ever since American soccer became popular. And what better person to lead it into the future? He's been there since day one.
Okay, I respect your opinion. Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr. recently partnered with Richard Petty Motorsports and will drive the iconic 43 car next season. Wallace will be the first black driver at NASCAR's highest level for 11 years and only the 4th driver ever. So, Thomas, what does this mean for the sport of NASCAR?
I mean, we talked about this earlier. It opens up a totally new market to NASCAR, as you talked about. You want to expand on that?
Yeah, so he is the first black driver since 1961 too. There's been some fill-ins, but only 4 in all of NASCAR. And I think that NASCAR is one sport that is just not added in this diversity aspect.
Absolutely.
And I think that this opens up a whole new fandom. I was reading, and NASCAR fans are all white, Southern. It's just the demographic.
Typically, yeah.
So putting a black driver into this, then you are putting a whole new fan base. I hope that we start seeing diversity on the track as well as in the stands.
And we talked about he's got the number 43 car now. He's with Tom Petty's team, and what better guy, Richard Petty's team, excuse me.
No problem.
And what better guy to start off your career with to really get you into the doors? He's one of the best drivers of all time.
And NASCAR started this Drive for Diversity program in 2004 where they added in for promoting female and minority drivers. And it's taken a while for this to start off. We've only seen 1 female driver and now the first black driver in several years.
Great to see the change.
I think that comparing this to kind of women's gymnastics is what I compare it to. Is when Gabby Douglas joined the Olympic team. She was the first black gymnast in a long time. And now we've seen this trend where, you know, Simone Biles, like one person does it, and then every young girl wants to be that person. And I hope that every NASCAR driver wants to be Bubba Williams because they can see that you can do it.
And it always starts somewhere, and I'm glad it's starting. Let's see what happens in the future now.
Okay, sounds good.
An incredible World Series between the Astros and Dodgers capped off an amazing season, but a small shadow still hangs over this season. With every home run record being broken, both in the regular and postseason, many MLB pitchers have questioned whether the baseballs are juiced. During the World Series, both pitching staffs claimed the balls were slick, making breaking pitches, particularly sliders, more difficult to throw. So Ellie, are baseballs juiced, or is this just an excuse for poor pitching?
I don't think it has anything to do with poor pitching. I think it has to do with good hitting.
Oh, okay.
And I think that the baseballs are not juiced and that these hitters are just hitting the ball extremely well.
I gotta say, I was doing a little research, and
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I think that they are juiced.
Why?
And when we talk about juice, we're talking about how bouncy the baseball is. The baseball can smack off that bat, go a little bit further. So they changed the balls in the second half of the 2015 season.
No.
Yes, they did. They got brand new balls.
Who is they?
MLB.
The MLB just throws in some new balls and say, let's have entry.
Yes, they were getting balls manufactured in China, and then they got ones manufactured in Costa Rica. And ever since then, from 2014 to 2017, home runs have been spiking year by year.
This is a theory, for one. Let's mention this theory. This came about in the
sticking with the
1990s.
theory.
And you know what? I think that the only people that mess with balls is Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Oh, my goodness.
But that's
Are we
my
opening up
opinion.
another gate right now? I'm not doing that right now.
But I do not think that the MLB messed with balls.
Fine.
Just fundamentally, the hitting was so much better. That's where I'm going with, that they hit the ball. The pitchers did a great. We had good pitching. It's not like they threw the ball and it hit the ground or something.
When Clayton Kershaw and Yu Darvish have terrible games like that, something doesn't make sense.
Lost the World Series, so maybe he's just
Something's
complaining.
fishy here.
Okay, okay. After a tremendous first half of the season, Houston Texas star rookie quarterback Deshaun Watson had his year come to an abrupt end, tearing his ACL in practice this past week. This throws the AFC South, an already weak division, into complete, just terrible thing going on right now. In light of the Watson injury, who do you think will take the AFC South? Excuse me.
Let's give it to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why not? It's about time that they won a little something right now, right?
The whole AFC South is a disaster in itself.
Yeah, and so I'm going to give it to the Jags. They've got a stellar defense, top pass defense in the league, most sacks in the league right now. They're crushing everybody else, really. The next best team has 6 behind.
Let's talk
the
about
Carolina
that.
Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. Well, they're not in the AFC South, but I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
And they're actually ahead of your Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
They're tied.
And
5
I
and
think
3
that,
each.
but they're tied, but the Titans are ahead because they beat the Jaguars.
Let me
already.
tell you, then tell me why the Jags have more points scored and then less points allowed.
Well, tell me why the Titans beat the Jags.
That's one game. That's one game.
Okay, but
We
also
got
the rest
plenty
of the
games
season,
to go.
they're playing the Jags at home. The Titans are going to play them in Tennessee.
At the end of the season, correct?
Yes, that's the last game of the season. The Texans have they have to play the Texans, the Colts. Neither teams are doing well. I think that the Titans have those in the bag. The Bengals, they play this coming weekend.
And the Jags play very similar teams as well, but I think the Titans have a little bit of a tougher schedule, and I think they're going to lose one of those games.
No,
The
they
Jags
don't.
are
They're
rolling.
the Colts, the Bengals, and the Jags. Tougher schedule.
They're going to lose one.
Lose one. Okay,
I'm calling it now.
Okay,
I'm calling it
Titans
now.
going with AFC South. I'm calling that poor Texans.
All right,
poor
all right.
Texans.
Before our final quick hitter, we here at 101 Sports would like to take a brief moment of silence to honor former MLB pitcher Roy Halladay, who tragically passed away earlier this afternoon in a plane crash in the Gulf of Mexico. Halladay was an 8-time All-Star and 2-time Cy Young winner in his 16-year career with Toronto and Philadelphia. He was 40 years old. So, Ellie, let's talk about Roy Halladay and his career. What do you say?
It's so sad. Any tragic accident is extremely sad. His MLB career had ended, and he had a very good one at that, and that's something to be remembered. I know that his teams have released a statement how sad they are about this, but just a phenomenal player. So sad to hear this. You know, just an incredible pitcher.
Yeah, and he had those 2 no-hitters and one in the postseason, which was, I believe, the second time that happened in history.
Yes, and a Cy Young winner in both leagues. So it's extremely incredible.
Let's take a quick moment of silence for him.
I agree,
How about
and
it?
we're very sad about his loss.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you so much. That is all the time we have for the Quick Hitters, but don't worry, I will be joined by the desk by Brad Keller and a very special guest to break down the first month of the NHL season. Stay tuned to see who our guest is.